Hi, everyone. Let's talk about the sixth grade quiz number 2. In this quiz, there'll be two questions. One of the questions will be on multiplication equations. And this is actually about algebraic equations, okay? So in this video, we'll focus on solving algebraic multiplication equations. Um, Things to keep in mind. Whenever we solve algebra problems, we can use the traditional algebra way, which is what I used to do when I was a student and what most people learn how to do. And then there's the opposite way, and then there's also we can use drawings like hangers, balances, or tape diagrams. So there's different ways to solve algebra problems. But no matter which way you decide to use, we always do the opposite. We always do the opposite, no matter which of these three ways you use. Okay. Now, in this video, I will focus on doing the opposite way first, and then I'll do the traditional algebra way on the quiz. It doesn't matter which way you decide to use. Okay. Um, Another thing that you want to think about is what is your way to do long division? There's a traditional way, which I learned and most people learn. There's the partial products way and the grid division way. There's different ways to do long division. For this video, I'm just going to focus on grid division. Okay. If you want to learn the other ways, there's other videos out there on the internet. All right. So we said that we would focus in on this video on solving a multiplication equation. It's an algebraic equation. Okay, so here's my example right here. We're gonna do the opposite way for this. I'm gonna do it the opposite way, and then I'll do the algebra way. Okay, so let's say our equation, our multiplication equation, is this. Now, the first thing you need to realize is why is this a multiplication equation? Hold on, let me see if I can get this out of the way. Sorry about. Okay. The first thing you need to think about is like, well, why is this a multiplication equation? Why did I say it's multiplication equation? Well, if you can you imagine what 6x's look like? Here's a drawing I made. Okay. Imagine this. This is 1x, 2x's, 3x's, 4x's, 5x's. This is 6x's. Okay. In fact, this is 6 groups of some kind of number. Okay. 6 groups of something. All right. Whenever we talk about groups, that's always multiplication. Okay. Multiplication is always groups of something. All right. So in fact, this is a multiplication equation. And so if we're doing the opposite way, what's the opposite of multiplication? Okay. What is the opposite of grouping things together? Well, the opposite of grouping things together is splitting them up into even pieces. So the opposite of multiplying is dividing. All right. So we're going to divide the answer, okay, with the other number. Okay. And so we're going to do this. We're going to do 96 divided by 6. And now it's up to you which way you're going to use. And as I said, I'm going to do grid division for this. Okay. So sorry about the 6. Here we go. I'm going to do grid division. So you just put your first number in the division house. We're going to put one number at a time in each column. All right. So the 9 goes inside. The 6 goes on the right here. Okay. So again, here's my 96. I leave a space and I put one number at a time here. So the 96 is split up like this. Okay. I'm going to put a multiplication sign so that I remember that there's a multiplication step here. And now we're going to do grid division. Okay. How many 6s do you need to make 9? Or how many 6s can go in 9? In this case, only one. The 1 goes on top. Start from the top first, then go down. 6 times 1 is 6. In here, we do subtraction. 9 minus 6 is 3. We have a remainder, and we bring that over to the next column, making this 36. Now let's repeat the same steps. How many 6s do we need to make 36? In other words, how many 6s go in 36? That is 6. Again, put the number on top, and we'll go down that way. Now, multiplication. What is 6 times 6? 6 times 6 is 36. Subtract, and we're done. I know I'm done. I have a remainder of 0. I'm officially done. And my final answer is what's on top. The final answer is 16. Okay, I can always check that, which is a good habit to do. So what I just realized from this equation is that x is 16. And I can always check my work, and I can see if that's right, okay? A good habit to do when you're checking your work is to go back to the original algebraic equation. I'm going to substitute, meaning I'm going to change that x to a 16. So I'm going to test it. This is what checking means. Is 6 times 16, question mark, is it really equal to 96? And you can test that your own way. I mean, you can multiply your own way, and you'll realize that, yeah, this is 96. And yeah, they're the same. They're equal. So I know I did it right. Okay. If you only do it the opposite way, that is cool. Okay. For those of you who want to do this the traditional algebra way, we'll do the same problem. But for those of you who are doing the traditional way, first step is optional. Draw a line to separate your left side and right side. Step 2, x wants to be by itself. It doesn't want any friends, doesn't want anyone next to it right now. But right now, that 6 is next to it on the left side. So we have to get rid of that 6. And the way we get rid of that times 6, because, wait, what is this? This is 6 times x, or x times 6. Again, think opposites. What's the opposite of times 6? What's the opposite of multiplication? And that opposite is division. This is how we write our division. Okay, this is division. Okay, and it looks like a fraction. This line in a 6 is how we write divide by 6. So if we divide by 6 on the left, what do we do on the right? We do the same thing. Okay, 6 divided by 6 is 1. So some people will just cancel this, but 6 divided by 6 we know is 1. So some other people will write this instead. They'll make this a big 1. Now, what do you have on the left side? On the left side, you have 1x. That's 1x, okay? Your equal sign is still in the middle. And then you do 96 divided by 6. We already did it here. 96 divided by 6 is 16, okay? So we just, in this video, went over the opposite way and the traditional algebra way. All right, that's how you solve a multiplication equation. That's an algebra equation, okay? Algebraic equation. All right, hope this video helps. Take care.